Good afternoon, class. My name is Lori Ross, and today I will be presenting to you the Student Learning Outcome Analysis Project, or Student Activity number 3. What will be discussed? We will analyze the facilitation of our learning experiences based upon expectations laid out in the Student Learning Outcomes. Here are the Student Learning Outcomes. Well, we will analyze, examine, describe, research, modify, propose, and plan, in short. First one, analyze and explain language acquisition in early childhood. Discovering psychology, the language development. This video analysis that we had to research, it explored the ingrained nature of language acquisition for the young child. It also really enhanced the learning outcome because it discussed many different theories about how children learn language. What is the important vocabulary to teach in preschool? By Kathleen Williams. Children will learn language in stages, and it is the teacher's responsibility to foster that growth. Language Acquisition of Young Children, The Major Theories and Sequences by Lester Butler. This paper, written by Lester Butler, analyzes the dynamics of language acquisition. It also delves into the mechanics such as pragmatics and syntax. It relates to the outcome because it truly analyzes language acquisition in a thoughtful way. Sing Language, The Effects of Sign Language on Vocabulary Development in Young Hearing Children by Marilyn Daniels. This article related to the learning outcome because it discussed another form of acquiring language in early childhood. It has also examined the effects of a study of teaching sign language to hearing children, and it was said that it was very beneficial because it improved vocabulary skills. First and Second Language Acquisition in Early Childhood by Beverly Clark. This article closely related to the student learning outcome because it broadened the horizon of not only first language acquisition, but gave insight on the second language development for young children and implications of bilingual programs. Chapter 3, Understanding Language Development in Early Childhood. Now, Chapter 3 offered so much in the areas of language development. It starts by defining language and what it means to the world, and how children are expected to learn through language. Examine the 4 areas of language arts: reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and communicate their independent significance as well as their correlation to each other. Chapter 10, Drawing and Writing to Communicate. Now, this chapter was one of our assigned readings and was the basis of a classroom discussion. This broadened my view of the childhood's communication because often we see children's drawings and think that it's very meaningless scribble. However, it is these scribbles that factor into the pre-alphabetic stage where putting those thoughts on paper is the artistic form through art. Promoting Writing and Preventing Writing Failure in Young Children by Brian Kissel. Now, this article, it was provided by the author, and he provided an understanding of writing failure and his research findings that state that it originates in the early years. It just broadened my understanding of preschool writing workshops and how beneficial they proved to be. We Can Write, the writing workshop for young learners. This was written by 3 authors, and the article focused on the study of second graders and their participation in the program and factors in that help them achieve their successful writing. It enhances the outcome because children use all those elements of language arts in workshops, and they exercise skills for future writing habits. Now, Word Study and Fluency, the video. This is a resource video that we could have watched. It was under our course shell. This video was one of the resource videos that emphasized learning in all areas of development for language arts. Teachers in this demonstration, they attend workshops to get their students involved through reading and sight words, writing classroom letters, listening to each other for feedback, and speaking when they raise their hands for activities. The Guided Reading Project. This project really highlighted this outcome so much that it offered an approach for teachers to take with their students to channel their inner reader. Guided reading is a process of having students in groups informatively assessing their reading through reading passages, writing activities, and discussion. Describe and select intervention strategies that facilitate the development of language in early childhood. Literature circles. This is analysis number 3. This video analysis was focused on the proper reenactment of literature circles. Literature circles are strategies that teachers can do together or have their students do to break down understanding of a piece of work. It's a great reflection of this outcome because students practice accountability and cooperation through teamwork. The story retelling strategy versus the storytelling drama, or video analysis number 4. Story retelling is the process of reading a story to a class and having children retell the series of events from a story through performance. This intervention strategy helped me to understand that using certain types of text can foster growth in literacy. Chapter 5, Classroom Activities to Develop Children's Speaking. Now, this chapter offered strategies for teachers to use to help their students increase their awareness of speech and writing, and I have provided some examples below. Children's narration of drawing, and this can be children using dictation to recreate stories of drawings. Group discussions. Teachers can make the most out of their group discussions if they plan carefully through flexibility and maintaining enthusiasm, while also asking open-ended questions. And finally, just allow children to just take the lead and say what they want rather than quizzing them. The guided reading project again. This project was a great example of an intervention strategy to help children utilize their writing and reading skills. The writing workshop project. The writing workshop project, well, it focused on the development of a writing workshop and the main contributors to the strategy. This intervention strategy helped to highlight what successful writing looks like for children. The word study and fluency video. This video was a great demonstration of teachers utilizing workshops to incorporate meaningful interactions with their students. Research and characterize the components of quality literature. Reading and Literature for Children by Model Editor. This article was the epitome of research of the effects of providing quality literature in the classroom because it just broadened my perspective in many ways. I did not know that reading quality books gave children a sense of relaxation, guiding research through choice, independent choice. Finally, Inside the Mind of a Child, Selecting Literature Appropriate to the Developmental Age of Children by Joanne Rockland. This author provides the makings of quality literature for different stages of children through life. Her personal perspective also gave the article an added touch of interest, and it made it fun to read. Rockland gave insight on how younger children relate closely to characters in books such as mice that are like-minded through their thrill for adventure. Selecting Quality Literature for Your Child. Lessons from the Caldecott Award winners by Lois Stern. This article offered many components of a quality book components that have won distinguished prizes from their works. For instance, books should be a pleasure to hear, and they should also create strong visual images. Choosing Books for Children, ages 3 to 7 by Carl Smith. This book is one of many by Smith who gives the components of quality literature when searching for books for students. The author gave many selections of books for teachers to read as read alouds for their students, and also gave tips along the way for parents who are looking for ways to increase their child's understanding of written text. Picture book picks. Recently published multicultural literature throughout the text. Well, I put that there because it was incorporated throughout the text in every single chapter. And throughout the assigned readings, I did notice that there were many sections for multicultural books to include in the classroom for a diverse curriculum. It also helped with coding, for instance, T equals toddler or ages 1 to 2, P equals preschool or ages 3 to 5, and etc. Modify and differentiate language arts curricula to meet the individual needs of children. Developing Print Knowledge in Young Children with Disabilities webinar by Laura Justice. This webinar, it offered many strategies to modify instruction for children with disabilities in the classroom. She gave advice on how to evoke attention to print and tracking and pointing to print non-verbally. Help me understand different strategies to take when teaching young children. Chapter 13, How do I get started with differentiating instruction? Well, this section of Chapter 13 is defined differentiation and ways to modify instruction, especially for inclusive settings. This gave me an understanding of how to make something less and more challenging when planning instruction. Chapter 11, How do I integrate technology and support diverse learners? This chapter is focused on incorporating technology throughout the year. I also learned that taking alternative approaches to otherwise traditional teaching lessons can offer many benefits and is an example of differentiated instruction. Reading and Literature for Children by Model Editor. This article offers differentiated strategies teachers can take for assessing the quality of reading for their students. Word Study and Fluency, the resource video. The video demonstrated many different examples of teachers to use with their students to enhance their literacy. It also gave teachers activities to use with their students so that they will individually benefit. It taught me about differentiating instruction for the sake of word study and fluency. Chapter 12, what is a balanced curriculum? This portion of Chapter 12 focuses on the balanced curriculum teachers should plan for their classrooms. When I hear the word balance, I think of curriculum that is universal for all children and not geared towards one specific child. We Can Write, the writing workshop for young learners. This article focuses on the differentiated instruction strategy of writing workshops and how they can help save children's writing. This taught me that the writing workshop could act as a modification to intervene on field writing for children. Propose strategies that foster partnerships with parents to facilitate language skills. Selecting quality literature for your child, lessons from the Caldecott Award winners by Lois Stern. This article was geared towards parents and how families can choose books based off themes and students' interests. It also helped me to understand the different ways to suggest reading strategies to foster reading with families at home. Next, practices in preparing very young children for literacy with the IRA president, Patricia Edwards. This podcast highlights ways to foster children's pre-literacy skills. The speaker offered ways parents can read to their children, even diary with them. It helped me understand that the parent is the child's first influential teacher. Collaboration with families and professionals. This was incorporated throughout the text. These collaborations with families and professional strategies were incorporated throughout the text of our assigned readings. It offered a supplemental way to involve any content from each chapter with parents. There are scenarios to give an example of how teachers collaborate with families. Choosing Books for Children, Ages 3 to 7 by Carl Smith. This book details the many ways parents can become involved with their child's literacy diet. This article gave me a new perspective into getting involved with children and taking that same journey with them through books together. Class discussion, parental involvement. This was a discussion we held in our class at one point in time, and in that session we spoke about how to include the family in the learning process for their young children. The family's role is an apparent one. This means that inviting parents to sit on lessons or even reading books during circle time is a step in the appropriate way. Plan and organize instruction in reading and other communication skills. The Guided Reading Project, well, this program is a prime example of reading instruction that involved other communication skills such as listening and speaking. It also helped me understand how to organize a guided program or incorporate it daily. The components of balanced literacy video. This video talks about a balanced literary model and what guided reading will look like in a classroom. Teachers organize guided readings for their students and help them organize their thoughts. This video also helped me understand what a real-life guided read looks like. About oceans, integrating language and literacy activities. This is a video. This video demonstrates how teachers can organize instruction from readings of the ocean unit and how children can incorporate what they learn into making other projects or activities. This helped me understand that many ways to plan activities around the book. The storytelling drama. Storytelling dramas are organized during most read-alouds during circle time. This strategy is planned and organized by the instructor and is most closely related to this learning outcome. It's helped me understand that there are many ways to connect with students about a writing piece and that there are many ways to assess their comprehension. Chapter 7, Talking Reading Support Programs. The talking books are a reading while listening tool for teaching word recognition, fluency, and pronunciation. This is a beneficial way to organize instruction because it encourages reading comprehension, especially when students set their own pace. This strategy enhanced my understanding of utilizing different technologies in the classroom because it caters to students' auditory learning. Overall, I was want to say thank you so much for watching my presentation. I hope you gained a bit of insight from my presentation, and I just want to thank you so much for listening and watching. Take care and have a great night.